Samit Patel will open the bowling from the pavilion end. 2 right-handers in his sights. Jason Roy, who's had his issues at times with slow bowling. Hashim Amla, who's had no such problems with batting against the slow stuff. Back in the side, missed out in the semi-final in the 11 over a side game. Here we go. Just a quick brush up on the regulations in this 16 over a side match. 4.5 over power play. 4.5 overs, of course.
Catch it, Sammy, get it.
One bowler can bowl 4, and 4 can bowl a maximum of 3. Both teams were very keen to chase. The setting of a target in these shortened games has become very, very difficult to judge indeed.
Nice, Sammy, nice, Sam.
Both Gloucestershire and Lancashire have perished doing so.
Get it, Sammy.
And a slightly longer game brings Hashim Amla back into the team. They left him out of the first 11 over match for Jordan Clark, but they feel with a bit more time that will play to his skill set. So back he comes, outstanding player, of course, 37 years of age now.
Get it.
1 or 2 golden oldies in this side. 42 Gareth Batty, 39 Peter Trigo, 37 Dan Christian. Samit Patel is 35. Age no barrier.
Get that, Yeti. Great dots, Sammy. Great dots in this power play, Sam. Come on, one off the first here,
1 or 2 grey hairs out there. A few grey hairs for Dan Christian and trying to get a flight home. To cancel 4 of them. He's going to have to be quick here. Real trouble. We got the batsmen both at the same end. Hashim Amla and Jason Roy are not speaking the same language. In fact, it looked like they weren't from the same species out there for a little while.
This was beautiful. Beautiful cricket all round. Both batsmen meeting in the middle, running one way, running the next. Somehow, in the end, I don't think a run was taken. No run scored. There should have been an obvious run out. Classic stuff. Absolutely classic stuff.
It's been a long couple of days, it really has.
Could be right arm over, Jess.
Good that they can both see the funny side. 1 for none from 1.
Leg still. Thank you.
Just catch you up on the 2 teams playing. Surrey made that 1 change. Jordan Clark, who came in for Surrey in the semi-final, is back out, and Hashim Amla is in. And a forced change for the Outlaws. Peter Trigo comes in for the injured Chris Nash. Nash injured his knee in the field in the semi-final against Lancashire. Trigo comes in, actually raising their average age.
They don't meet very often, these teams, Butch. Only once, bizarrely, in the Blast. Come on, when was it?
Trent Bridge, 2006, finals day.
Surrey's captain, one M.A. Butcher.
They got absolutely stuffed.
Run out 1, you were.
Ramprakash.
Did it challenge the Roy Amla episode of a moment ago?
No, it was a lot more straightforward. Push to short, extra cover, yes, no, oops. It's probably just as well. That only dragged the scoring rate down further. I think Azam Mahmood and John Batty put up a fight towards the end of that one, but it wasn't to be. This was absolutely superb. It's choreography from the golden age of cinema. Amla's away. Took him 5 deliveries, but he gets up the other end.
Samit Patel, the only survivor from that game we referenced in 2006, the only time these two teams have met. Of course, they come from different groups, north-south, so it's only in a finals day that they would meet. Samit played in that game, 2006. Nobody, I think I'm right in saying, has played more games in the Blast than Samit Patel over the years. Hugely, vastly experienced player.
Let's just have another look at this. The reaction from Jake Ball is that this ball has been dropped by Peter Trigo at mid-wicket. Well, it was. First touch is a drop. Beautifully bowled from Jake Ball. But yeah, that's a drop at mid-wicket from Trigo. He's playing his 4th final. Runners up. Runners up 3 times with Somerset, Peter Trigo. Knocks Outlaws in their 3rd final. Winners in 2017. Runners up in 2006, the same year. Edged and over. Flying right hand of Moores. 7 without loss.
Certainly asking to be hit, the ball from Jake Ball, which was short and wide. It went very quickly, flashed past Tom Moores, who had little chance with it, really. Jason Roy, not the kind of player that you want to give a life to. It's been a stuttering season for him, really. He looked out of nick with England. He had that side injury, so he missed a lot of cricket. And he's the kind of player that likes to play and have a rhythm to his batting. And there are just signs in the Blast, in the 3 games that he played for Surrey, that he was finding a bit of form.
More spin. Imad Wasim. Now, left arm spinner replaces left arm spinner. Again, there's a little bit of hesitation in the running. Good work from Samit Patel. Backward square leg.
In the game there, son. Great dot, Limmy.
Interesting with Jason Roy. You can almost always tell exactly how he's feeling at the crease.
Go good, go good.
Wouldn't make a good poker player, Jay Roy. He's not timing it particularly well. He's kind of down on himself. He's finding the middle of the bat. You know all about that too. The shoulders are back and he's peacocking his way through the innings. Wonderful ball striker. It's an interesting matchup, isn't it? You've got him and Alex Hales in the same team. Hales very much out of favour with England. Roy struggling. The 2 of them in competition here in the Blast.
When Roy has played against Imad Wasim in international cricket, what he's done is stayed leg side of the ball. He showed his stumps to Imad Wasim and looked to hit him over extra cover, and that's where the boundary option is at the moment. Imad is just pushing mid-off to the edge of the circle. He senses that is where Roy is looking to go. It's in that arc between mid-off and wide extra cover, and that's where he looks to hit Imad Wasim as much as he can.
This is just brute strength from Jason Roy. That little shake of the head, it didn't come out of the middle. I reckon his toe ended that pass mid-off for 4. That one's out of the middle. Crack as it hit the bat. And that'll fly away through wide mid-off.
He's got his boundary fielders to the short side, long on and deep mid-wicket. But I think he'd be better trying to get Jason Roy to hit across the line rather than through that area where he's played so successfully in the past against Imad.
Something like that. Tuck him up into the pads. 3 overs gone, 16 without loss. Stewart with the beanie in the middle. Vikram Solanki, who took over as head coach in the winter from Michael Divanitu. He's found life pretty tough as coach of Surrey County Cricket Club in the Bob Willis Trophy. They've put together a run of 9 wins on the bounce in the Blast to redeem the season.
Stretched their resources pretty thin, didn't it, this summer?
Alec was very close to having a game himself. Still,
I bet they've done all right.
I bet he would have done. Still in great nick. Is the gaffer.
Delegated note-taking duties to Vikram Solanki.
He knows he's on camera as well. A little sly look out the corner of his eye. Samit Patel switches ends. Amla up and over wide mid-on, doesn't get it, and a little bit of backspin on the wedge. And they trot back for 2.
Nice, Sammy.
Chance goes begging. Moore's rather snatched to that one. Amla gets another life.
Yeah, not a huge spinner of the ball, Samit Patel, but he did get one to straighten there, and that should have been taken by Tom Moore. So that's 2 lives now. They've offered, 1 to each of Jason Roy and Hashim Amla.
Catch it!
In the air, Amla has gone. And it may be a blessing in disguise. He was really struggling for any sort of timing. And Samit Patel, with the help of his captain Dan Christian, has the breakthrough for the Outlaws.
Well, not often that you will see Hashim Amla go as inelegantly as this. He's a very elegant timer of the ball. This was a bit of a hack, straight up in the air to extra cover. Knots have their first wicket. Amla gone for 3. And Moore's the reprieve of the ball before, not too expensive. Hashim Amla gone for 3, 18 for 1.
Will Jacks, young Surrey starlet, having an excellent tournament. Samit Patel able to pack the offside field.
When was it when Will Jacks eviscerated Lancashire in a pre-season game in Dubai? Was that the start of this season or the previous season? The 10-over game, wasn't it?
I think it was the previous season.
Previous season,
Get 100 off 26 balls.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's had a really good blast. He's been entrusted with a lot of overs by Gareth Batty. Picked up consistent wickets, almost 300 runs as well. Have held things together a bit for Surrey in the early part of the Blast, where they were waiting for some of the senior players to regain fitness.
Maybe they recognise the importance of his wicket, because a slip is in now for Samit Patel. There's just enough purchase off the pitch. 4 overs done, 19 for 1.
Well, it was a swipe from Hashim Amla. I think he perhaps felt that the mojo wasn't with him this evening, and that he'd be better off perishing than chewing up any more deliveries. Tom Moores gets a pat on the head from Samit. Never mind, mate, we got him anyway. Both teams are very keen to chase here in the final. It was Dan Christian that won the toss and was able to make that call. Murray Evans, Ben Folkes, Rory Burns, Overton and Plunkett with the engine room for Surrey. What do you think? I mean, given the way that Nottinghamshire chased down, what was it, 94? Got to be looking at 100, 110. 16, sorry. I think you might be struggling in a 16-over game with 110.
I take your point. It's tricky to know what is a good target. I think all teams have suffered a bit batting first so far in a 16-over game. If we take that score of 100 in 11 overs, you're hopefully looking at somewhere around about the 150 mark in a 16-over game. 140, 150 mark, somewhere around there.
Middle, please. Centre, Will.
Crunched straight to the fielder, Ben Duckett. You've got to push everybody in the outfield tonight because it was soggy underfoot, really treacherous underfoot in the first game. It's only getting worse as the dew comes down. Night's pretty chilly. You're going to see fumbles, you're going to see slips and slides. I don't think there's any excuse for walking singles in this final.
Used to dealing in boundaries, you see these days, Butch. Will Jacks especially, a little bit like Tom Banton, actually, a very exciting young player. Just gets his hands so nicely through the ball. The speed of the bat through the ball, really eye-catching.
Yeah, come. On you.
Quick. Just a single, sedate start. And again, this has been the issue for all the sides that have batted first today. Not quite known how hard to go in the power play. By and large, the opposition have bowled well, bowling first. Straight up in the air again. This is going to take some catching. Steve Mullaney never in the hunt.
I'll just add a bit of complication to the mix. It started to rain. We're not expecting too much, but dew will have fallen as well. It's soggy already from the 2 or 3 days of rain that we've had, and just a bit more is coming down now, so it's going to be tricky for the spinners to keep the ball dry. Spinners played a crucial role so far today in finals day.
Groundsman at the ready. Again. Straight up in the air again. This should be out. Taken. Christian again with the catch. Will Jacks will sparkle no further with the bat in this year's tournament. And Jake Ball has another.
Change of ends for Jake Ball. Has given him the wicket. It was a slower ball, an off-cutter. Will Jacks was just trying to muscle it down the ground. It was a good catch, actually, because as Christian is looking over his left shoulder here, he is looking into one of the far floodlights above the old scoreboard. So that's an excellent catch. Will Jacks gone for 3, Surrey 24 for 2.
Well, that wicket foil on the final ball of the power play, 4.5 overs in a 16-over side match with the fielding restrictions. And that brings Laurie Evans to the crease on loan from Sussex, although will be joining Surrey officially as from 2021. End of the 5th, and Surrey behind, 25 for 2.
Power play was 4.5 overs in this reconstituted game of 16 overs. There was a drop catch off Jason Roy early on. Peter Trigo, who's into the side, he made that mistake, and then there was a miss-stumping from the wicket-keeper, Tom Moores. But then wickets started to tumble. Ashim Amla, first of all, caught by Dan Christian, swiping one up in the air. And Christian, the catcher, again, a better catch this time, or a more difficult catch, as he was running back over his shoulder. So 5 overs, 25 for 2. Amla, who looked a little out of sorts, gone for 3. Will Jacks, dangerous, also gone for 3. Not a lot on Jason Roy and Laurie Evans there.
Centre. Thank you.
Matt Carter, tall off spinner, has in the past bowled in the power play with the new ball for Nottinghamshire in T20 cricket.
Yeah, you're good there, Ducky.
Now finds himself up into the attack with 2 right-handers and big leg side boundary in his favour. Now he goes offside and will find the fence.
Yeah, bowling round the wicket as he did in the first semi-final. It's the length that's important here, because on that angle Roy can get back and give himself room, carve this away behind square.
Again, no pressure on the fielder. I think is a mistake in these conditions. Carter trying hard to keep the ball dry.
There you go.
Up and over the head of Samit Patel. And they scamper back for 2 this time.
Sam, look at it. Rocky.
Still squeezing tight in the circle. Patel and Christian mid-wicket, an extra cover in, saving 1.
Get it, give it. Right effort, Parts.
Nottinghamshire extremely happy with the way first 5 and a bit overs have gone. Good finish, really good from Carter after going for a 4 first ball. 6 overs gone, it's 33 for 2.
Well, 33 for 2 off 6, you'd say, is just not bossing this game so far. As we saw in the last semi-final when Dan Christian was batting, the boundaries aren't that hard to come by later on in the innings. No one knows this ground better than you, Nick Knight. What do you reckon?
It's a long time since I played here, Keezy, that's what I reckon.
Get that, yeah, great dot, Sammy. Come on, boys. One.
Well, he did well there because he got done by the fly. I reckon Samit Patel saw him, but he wasn't committed.
He did do well. He also knows conditions very well here. Laurie Evans played a bit of his cricket here for the Bears. It's easy, perhaps, not to talk much about Laurie Evans. And you got Amla and you got Jason Roy, but actually he does a terrific job, Laurie Evans. Has done this season, joining full-time next year, but becoming a very, very effective short-form player.
Catch it, Sam.
Well, that is hit so hard. That is absolutely smashed and just dismissed out of his presence.
Well, it might have been Tom Moores who said catch it. I don't think Sammy even saw it.
Hit the boundary before he finished saying.
Catch. Oh, wowzers.
Catch it, that one as well. Sammit's not enjoying this. Oh, Sammit is down.
Come on, mate, you see it, Pierce. You can take it.
Yeah, this was catch it. Well, good luck. Sammit did well to get out of the way of that one, and he didn't quite get out of the way of this one.
That must have hurt. He has absolutely smashed that, Roy. One of those, it looks like you just got to get on with it, though, because as soon as you stop,
All right, Sammy.
that's going to hurt even more. Tomorrow morning's not going to be fun. Oh, again, pure timing. This time, Evans.
Yeah, and the placement was good, but the footwork was brilliant as well. Adjusted his position at the crease so quickly. 43 for 2. Just have a look here. Very quickly, he's back into position.
I think you're absolutely spot on about Laurie Evans. I'm amazed that Sussex let him go, or let him go on loan, and then he's going to join Surrey next year. I also can't believe a player of his technique, talent, can't find a game in 4-day cricket.
I think, Keezy, that's why he's been moving around. I think initially that's why he moved around. I think he came here from Surrey to try and find some 4-day cricket. I think he left here because he wasn't getting 4-day cricket and went to Sussex. Maybe he wasn't getting it there, so he's moved on. But I think now the landscape in cricket's changed, doesn't it? It's more about T20 cricket. He can travel the world now, as he's doing. Make a good living and enjoy the shortest form of the game. He's pretty good at it.
Stephen Mullaney, bit of pace off. I think Benny Howe, Ryan Higgins, people like that.
Get it wide,
That is
wide,
real
Ducky,
pace
Ducky.
off as well.
I'll have it, Ducky.
Good back. Steady. DC mid-wicket.
Sort of bowler that forces you to make the running as a batsman. You've got to premeditate. He's got a big boundary out to the leg side, so do you try and just tick him along, pick up the odd ones or two? Or do you look for a bigger shot? No backward point, that's out of deep cover, and the third man is up.
They're looking for big shots here, Keezy, surely. Something like that. That'll do very nicely. I don't think they're thinking about knocking it around.
And that was a poor ball. Really just floated up, gave him width as well. Even if he wasn't looking to hit it, he's going to put that away. Got to be straight. All the cover is out on the leg side. Again, that's going to be another boundary through the offside.
Just sliding on. Cutter, but it just slides on to the bat, the middle of the bat.
Not too much width.
Get it, Ted, get it, you've got to go, you've got to go.
It's a different game when you bowl it pretty straight like that. It's not easy. And you can't get your hands and just throw them at a bit of width.
Good, Jace, good calling.
Good over for Surrey, 56 for 2. if you've got the chance, Professional Cricketers Trust. So if you can text Trust Cricket 5 to 70085, that'll donate £5 to the Professional Cricketers Trust. Trust Cricket 10 to the same number to donate £10. Like a lot of charities, it has been a very, very tough year. So any help possible is much appreciated. Now the boundary just short of a length, and very quickly he's onto that. This is a good passage of play from Roy and Evans.
Yeah, the better player you are, the quicker you pick up length, particularly against a spinner. Ahmad Wasim doesn't drop him short very quickly. That's what he's trying to do, bowl it into the surface. But that's just a bit too short, and Roy is just waiting for it.
That's really zipping back in. I wonder if it's just a bit of dew as just helping the ball skip onto the bat.
Got him. Great, got him.
Makes it so difficult, doesn't it, to use your feet to. Easier being a left-hander.
Catch it.
I don't think he's got that. Oh, just enough. Just over Alex Hales. Looked high on the bat, but he had enough power.
That's why it's slightly easier for the left-hander, because just hitting against the spin holds a little bit in the surface. That's why he doesn't get the middle of the bat here, but he gets just enough.
He looked pretty confident in himself.
Oh!
More spin bowled in this year's tournament, this year's competition, than any other.
Hold him, hold him.
Yeah, you think the games we've done at the Oval, Lancashire,
Get it, one
the same thing at Trent Bridge, which is normally just an absolute road. You can't bowl anything. 69 for 2, 9 done. We've seen some decent, so I've been excited actually by some I was saying earlier. The left-arm spinners, the young left-arm spinners. I thought Hartley looked good for Lancashire. Callum Parkinson for Leicestershire. Moriarty, who we'll see when Surrey come to bowl.
And to think all those years ago when T20 evolved back in 2003 in the professional game, it was everyone saying, well, that's going to ruin spin. That's going to clean them out.
It's actually given more spinners a chance, hasn't it, really? You think of some of the spinners, some of the dross at times that gets wickets.
Feel a bit for the modern spinner, though, compared to yesteryear, because the boundaries are brought in a little bit now, definitely more than they were ever years ago, so it's a little tougher for them.
Carter bowls it pretty quick, at times bowls in the power play, or in years gone by, Fernotz has done that job. I reckon he's got a pretty wise head on relatively young shoulders. Was that a little bit slower, got the courage just to try and get it up, albeit still 57 miles per hour. Like he had a nice bit of drop on that one.
One.
Oh, that's excellent batting, the way he just clears that front leg.
In. Come.
Well, place 50 partnership between these two.
Yeah, it was well placed, a huge boundary leg side. Huge boundary. So he just realised that the boundary field would be out pretty deep and easy too. Clever batting.
And 47. That 48 for Roy. But they're pretty clever, really, because a lot of the time the boundaries they've hit from this end, when batting at this end, it's been just through extra cover with good shots. The end to really have a go is the other end. We'll just sweep it hard like that. Beautiful. 80 for 2.
Just drags it round, uses the angle. There, you see the wrists work hard to get it behind square, because he knows that the man at deep square is just on square. Terrific batting. Really has evolved as a very effective short form player now, Laurie Evans.
Well, we got 6 overs left. This is the time they must be talking. 2 wickets. 2 wickets down. This is the time you start thinking, right, one of us, we can just go hell for leather. Dan Christian bowled well in the semi-final. This is where you both just go as hard as you can. Short boundary leg side. Probably an experienced bowler, but very much an all-rounder, not what a front-line seamer. I reckon this is the time when they start to really go through the gears.
Go full here, wouldn't you? Got to go full. Shortish boundary leg side.
Absolutely. I think he does the opposite from the other end at times. There we go. What's Laurie Evans going to do? Roy with that might be just looking to play for Evans to have a go.
Compliment to Laurie Evans if that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Can't be thinking just we're going to tick along.
I think he's thinking big. I think he's thinking down the ground leg side.
Well bowled. Laurie Evans is quick and good jobs. 50 for Jason Roy. More to come from him. Get ready. Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed. Big match player. Lost his opening partner pretty early on in the piece, and he's found some form late on in the season. He's had a difficult time, injury or two and lack of form. And this might just prove a crucial moment for he and his team.
And he got his first 100 in T20 cricket against Kent in a game I played. And at a time when, you know, when young players turn up, you have no idea who they are. I don't think I've ever forgot him since then. Pretty good from Dan Christian so far. Well, that's excellent fielding. That is really good fielding, Jake Ball. Oh, big flat, hit hard as well. Excellent from Roy, 92 for 2.
That's the danger, bowling length. That's what we didn't think he would do. He got away with it earlier on in the over. Jason Roy punished him right at the end, and half-century for Roy. Looked in pretty good touch throughout this innings. He had a little bit of luck early on. Need that once he found his feet, finding the gaps as well. So it's been a difficult summer for him. He hasn't found his best form, but he's certainly found the middle of the bat on many occasions here. So he's, what, 58 from 38? There's 5 overs to go. Looks like being an imposing score thanks to that man and Laurie Evans.
A really good partnership between these two. Crucial partnership. Long boundary this time. Will it go all the way? It does. That is a big hit. The ones that Christian hit was towards the Hollies. This is in the other direction from Evans. His second 6 and his biggest 6.
This partnership is building nicely here. These two have the power, the ability to really start to kick this score on.
Can Samit Patel go back at him, just wiping that seam of that ball? Bit of dew coming down. Fired it in, bowled it into the surface.
Starting to think of what a good score is here, Nas. If they go at over 10s, which is possible, and they get anywhere near 150, that's a good recovery.
Yeah, that's a great score in a final if they can get up to 150. Pressure of a run chase. Just shows what you can do if you get in. These two took their time getting in. It looked like a bit of a struggle, but once they got a few boundaries away, they've gone from strength to strength. Just a single, but it's a single that brings up the 100 for Surrey. 100 for 2. Still 4 and a bit overs to go.
Yeah, warm applause. There's still plenty of batting to come in the lineup. If these two go for another couple of overs, I wonder if they would think about moving a bit of power up the order as well.
You're thinking 2, it must be 2. It's gone very wide to long off. Knox Outlaws need a wicket. They need to break this partnership. They are both big hitters towards the death of an innings. Comeback from Patel after the 6, just 3 singles and a 2, but another good over for Surrey. 103 for 2. Go with the ball. I think Jake Ball has to bowl 2. He is excellent at the death. Patel is bowled out. 4 overs, 1 for 25, so he was good with that 6. He's been pretty excellent, to be honest, throughout the day.
Christian bowled well as in the last game they played. He was really effective at the back end in the final over. Reactive when the batters were coming at him. I wonder if he will consider bowling last over again today as well.
Looks like it's going to be Imad Wazim. It is going to be Imad Wazim. So again, the two right-handers hitting towards that short boundary. It's not your traditional flight left-arm spinner. I don't think what happened to Liam Livingston earlier against Christian, he'll be trying to fire it in. But you can bet these two right-handers are targeting that Holly stand.
Straight up here with me, straight up here in.
Okay, fellas, let's play.
Imad will try and dart it in full.
Catch it. Go,
Side off, that's a great shot. Just opens up the offside, because initially he'd have been going leg side, then he opened up the off and they'll come back for three. Looks like he's going to hide the ball, Imad Wazim, outside off. But if you get that wrong, you can drag it either side. Three men behind square on the offside. Deep extra, so the plans look way outside off. Hide the ball. We might think of reversing in that direction. Sneaking down.
Hold him, Ad. Catch it.
Hard, straight to long on.
Hold him. Nice him. Bowling.
It's a good take. Well bowled, fired in wide. It's not a wide, it was just on that line. It's a good take.
That was quick. 65 miles an hour. I know he fires them in, but that is getting up there.
Get it in.
Thrashed hard down the ground. This is excellent. No boundary yet in the over. Last ball, no boundary. Can Imad Wazim finish off this excellent over?
Catch it!
Goes towards long off. It won't carry. They'll come back for two. Given that he was bowling with the right-handers hitting to the short boundary, they would have taken 8, definitely knots. It's Nelson, 111 for 2. 3 overs to go. What can Surrey get up to? Ebony mentioned 150. They'd need 39 from these last 3. Cold October evening. We're still to decide who's going to win this year's Blast. Two excellent sides going hard at each other. It's going to be Christian. They're going to have 1 over of ball and have to find 1 more. Oh, really well. Death over in the semi-final.
Yeah, one thing he did in that final over was just very reactive. If the batters were coming in, him occasionally dragged it short or bowled it wide, and he produced the same.
Followed him. Roy wants 2. The long boundary, so he'll jog back easily.
Pulling out the nutmeg there. Full ball, and it follows you. Find a way just to get it. Not sure if it went quite between the legs. Yeah, it went right between them.
It did. There's the nutmeg, perfect. And well positioned for 2 as well. He's desperate to open up that offside. And Christian's going to try and hide the ball on his legs. This is good battle. Very good bowling.
Yeah, just following him. It's brilliant delivery. As you say, you can see he's just trying to open it up.
Semi-final, Christian and Ball were excellent. No boundaries in the last 17 deliveries. Not sure they'll get away with that here. But if Christian goes well in this over, he could bowl the last over. Slower ball, should be taken to deep mid-wicket, is taken. Christian bowling beautifully at the end of the innings again.
The frustration for Evans, looking to accelerate the score, but Christian had other ideas. Just the slower ball, just rolled the fingers over it. Evans not able to get it, going towards the longer boundary as well, so had to get a good connection. Simple catch for Ben Duckett, and the captain delighted. Well, Evans, he goes for 43 off 23 deliveries. Surrey, 114 for 3.
Yeah, that was a big hit out there. I mentioned earlier how they nailed one over cow corner in that direction, but not then. That is a seriously big hit. Duckett was underneath it. It's gone one way, then the other, this semi-final, this innings. Knott's now fighting back after a real good partnership between Evans and Roy. Overton comes in. He faced one ball, I think, in the semi, smashed it for 4, walked off the winning runs.
Yeah, no surprises, they've shifted the order a bit as well. Just came in one earlier. They might look just for a bit more power to clear the ropes. Good strike rate, look at that, only 170.
Again, that leg side is where Christian will want everything hit. He'll be bowling very straight. Oh, edged. Now has he grabbed that? He has. What a grab that is from Moores. He hasn't had a great night behind the stumps, but that will make up for it. That's a brilliant catch.
Well, the blood was definitely flowing on this one for Moores. Coming at good pace, a big, thick outside edge. He almost had to change direction. He was going down the leg side, took it behind him. What an outstanding catch. And how important that could be for this match. Well, Overton unable to trouble the scorecard. Surrey 115 for 4.
Christian again, that man, 2 wickets. Brilliantly helped out by Tom Moores there. Missed a stumping earlier. He was wrong-footed here, going down the leg side. And that went quickly, and so did Moores.
The pace that was going, taking it behind him. How important has Christian been today? The bat and ball.
Huge 4 6s earlier off Liam Livingston. Wickets now, bowling beautifully at the death in that first semi. Rory Burns, so there's that left-hand, right-hand combination they're going to have to deal with. Always one player hitting towards the short boundary. But it's got to be Roy now. Roy has been off strike. Roy has watched. Roy has got to have an impact in these last couple of overs.
You feel they've got to get to at least 140 to stay in the game. It was a little while ago, it was looking comfortably on. Now things have just turned.
Excellent over, Dan Christian. 2 wickets, 5 runs, 116 for 4.
So where are you going now, Nas? Well, it's going to be Ball, I would assume, to finish his 3rd.
Yeah, Ball and Christian. I'd say if that had gone round the park, that over from Christian, you're always wary of bowling a bowler again. They've got to do what they did in the semi. Ball was excellent, Christian was excellent.
Change the ball then, Rory. Right arm round. Centre.
It is going to be Jake Ball. In fact, he's not only been excellent tonight, he's been excellent all season, Jake Ball, at the death. Two overs to go. If you are just joining us because of the rain, wet outfield. We have a 16 over a side final. Burns, I would say, bat on ball. You never know nowadays. You might try something funky. Men are up, third man, fine leg. But Jason Roy needs to face the bulk of these 12 deliveries. Shoveled leg side.
Look. No.
Roy says no, I'm going to have it. So exactly the opposite here, whereas Christian was hiding the ball very straight and leg side. Ball may well go round the wicket and hide it outside off on the angle with a man deep behind square on that offside. He'll just come in shot there, and also a deep extra cover. Toe end of the bat. How did he have to throw that? Why did he throw that? Jake Ball not amused at all. Why would you throw that and get Roy back on strike? Shake of the head and an apology.
Yeah, frustration here. Picked it up, just could have kept things calm and controlled. Wild throw. Good margin wide of the stumps.
Well, he's apologised. All eyes will be on him if this next ball disappears out of the ground. Oh, out, unless it's pitched outside leg. It might have pitched outside leg, but it was straight enough. He went a long way across.
Well, there's no doubt that was going on to hit the stumps, but like you say, where did it pitch? Yeah, looks like it's going on to hit those stumps. Ball delighted. How important that wicket is. Jason Roy looked like he was setting to charge.
No, I didn't pitch outside leg because he'd gone so far across, just in line. And once that was right, everything else was right. Big wicket. They've been brilliant at the death today. Jason Roy has been excellent. 66 he made in 47 deliveries, but he goes, and knots are on the up. I think we might have had another swear word there, so apologies for that. Imad Wasim will say, I knew exactly what I was doing there. Get Jason Roy back on strike and we'll get him out. Good thinking, Imad.
Yeah, I can't imagine the team talk if that wouldn't have come off.
Ben Folkes into the action. They're good, aren't they? They really are good at the death, these two, Christian and Ball in particular. Round the wicket, slower balls, outside off, and then you just change it, like the wicket of Roy. He just subtly decided to change it and bowl straight.
Well, Folkes played nicely in the first innings. It's a good old celebration. No surprises there.
Dipping slower ball. Shouldn't be two to the short boundary. It isn't.
Well, these two aren't as big of strikers. They're not power hitters. We saw Folkes play nicely in the first game, get 20 of 20 balls. So kept things together in that first game, but he's going to have to find the boundary somehow.
Yeah, there may have even been thoughts of sending in Liam Plunkett. We've seen Liam Plunkett for England. Long levers, hits a long ball. Toe end of the bat. No pace on it. A very fine over from Jake Ball. Just 5 from it and the wicket. 121 for 5. 23 deliveries without a boundary, so a very similar pattern to the semi-final. Burns and folks get from this last 6 deliveries.
We feel it's, well, you're definitely short at the moment, but they've got to get as close to 135 as possible. To do that, they need a couple of boundaries and to run up and down as hard as possible. Christian has been excellent, you say, keeping it straight and hitting into the leg side.
There is the option for Rory Burns to just get down and scoop it over third man and fine leg, but you feel Christian may take pace off to stop him doing that. A slower ball that was dipping. He missed out there, Burns. It was a full toss.
Centre. 5 to come, right arm over.
Leg side, long boundary, again cow corner. It should be taken, it is. That is such a big hit out there. They aren't clearing Duckett, he's not a tall man. He's just standing there and grabbing him.
Here the plan is paying off, another slower ball. Yeah, folks trying to get the leverage and distance on that one. Didn't quite get set and didn't get enough power behind it, easy as you like, for Duckett. Well, he's not really able to trouble the scorecard heavily either. Surrey, 122 for 6.
Yeah, they're collapsing here, Surrey. And you have to give credit to Christian and Ball. They have played the boundaries perfectly, but not been too obvious in it. When they need to change, when they have a gut feel, they have done. Liam Plunkett on strike, rather not on strike. The batsman crossed. It'll be Burns on strike. Surrey need a good 4 balls here. They need boundaries. Plunkett wants to get back for 2. It's a shorter boundary, can't.
Well, Plunkett has got 3 balls now. I wonder if he'll just look to set himself. And Christian has been very smart.
Famous hit, wasn't it, in a one-day international at Trent Bridge against Sri Lanka. That was over long off. 6 to tie the game, Liam Plunkett. So that would tend to suggest long off is his area. But I don't think that Christian will give him the leverage, the length or the line to hit over long off. Exit leg side, Duckett again in the action. This time they rush back for 2. The throw is wide.
Good work from Duckett as well today. He's taken some important catches. He's worked hard.
27 deliveries now without a boundary at the end of a 16-over game. Make that 28.
Well, this feels short. Psychologically, though, a boundary, getting over that 130 mark, just give them something to work with.
24 runs off the last 4 overs. Can Christian finish well? Can Surrey finish with a boundary? He's gone to long on. Has he got enough of it? No, another catch in the deep. Dan Christian, what an evening you're having. Runs, wickets, brilliant bowling at the death. That is an outstanding finish. Christian finishes with 4 for 23. Him and Ball have been mighty impressive.
Yeah, he's been brilliant, using all his experience. And again, this time, another catch in the deep, comfortable, not able to clear that longer side. Well, the captain is doing it all today. Runs and wickets, giving his side a chance, a good sniff for the final.
Yeah, 114 for 2. And Evans and Roy were going really well, and they were thinking 150 odd. Because of the excellence of the death bowling, look at that collapse at the end. Burns 5 not out. The runs came from the top with Roy at 66 and Evans 43, but not a lot left from the others.
The bowlers have been outstanding today. Stand out, of course, the captain, 4 for, and Jake Ball as well. Really brilliant to dismiss Jason Roy. He picked up 2 wickets for just 17 runs from his 3.
Really good bowling figures. Those, the runs on the board, but do you think they're enough runs? Notts Outlaws will need 128 runs to win this year's last tournament. Really went one way, then the other. It was a good start for the Outlaws. Then Evans and Roy came at them hard. And then a brilliant death bowling performance from Ball and from Christian.
OK, Notts run chase then. They did it successfully in the semi-final. Slightly different scenario here in the final. Let's get upstairs, Mark Butcher. Michael Atherton.
Well, we're deep into autumn. It's Sunday, October the 4th. We still quite don't know yet the destination of the final trophy of this strange and unusual summer of 2020. 16 overs to separate Surrey and Nottinghamshire to discover who will take home the Blast Trophy this year. Surrey made 127 for 7. They didn't hit a boundary in the final 29 balls of their innings. They were really handily placed at 114 for 2 and then rather tamely fell away towards the back end of their innings. Notts will feel satisfied with their work at the halfway stage. How do you see it, Butch?
Oh, I think Surrey are short, but I think they've got bowlers in their lineup. In the likes of Liam Plunkett, captain Gareth Batty, Reece Topley, that can cause any opposition a problem. So it's you're in the game, put it that way. But they'd certainly have liked 20 more. Brilliant from Nottinghamshire at the death, as they were in the semi-final against Lancashire. And Gareth Batty's going to have to use all his resources, all his wiles, and hope to protect the short boundary as well as Nottinghamshire did, and pick up regular wickets, because Notts bat deep, very deep indeed.
Well, Surrey would dearly love to start as well with the ball as they did against Gloucestershire in the opening semi-final. Reece Topley bowled impressively there. He found a bit of swing actually with this new white ball. Should imagine it's quite chilly out there now. There'll be dew falling, so we'll highlight Surrey's performance in the field as well. In the absence of Nash, it will be Duckett again who will partner Hales at the top of the order. Looks like Reece Topley will start with a slip for Alex Hales, who remains, of course, a huge wicket in any short form white ball competition. Looked in decent touch in the first semi-final. Here we go. Here's Reece Topley. Pulled away. Oh, he's gone. First ball. You could hear Alex Hales say no. As soon as he hit that, he knew it was travelling to deep square leg.
Laurie Evans with the huge smile, and I bet his heart rate is right up there at the moment, because that ball popped out for a second. He seemed to hit him before he was ready. Short ball, Alex Hales on his hip, just swiveled on that pull shot, just hit it really, and picked out the one man, and Laurie Evans held on. What a start for Surrey.
Amazing start. Huge wicket. First ball, and he knew it, Alex Hales. You could hear him say no as soon as he hit that ball, because as he swiveled round, he would have had Laurie Evans right in his sights at deep square leg, and he knew he was in trouble immediately. Joe Clark, who started in rather dramatic fashion in the first semi, he hit his first ball straight back over the bowler's head for 6. And Notts need an innings from him. These two young players brought in from Northants and Worcestershire, two high-quality young players, have a job to do.
Oh, what a start. Reece Topley just looking to try and cut down any sort of width at Alex Hales early on. It's at his body, it's short. Oh no. Oh no, he says.
It's a kind of shot played on instinct. He would have known the field.
Yeah.
He'd have looked round and knew that deep square leg was there, but he just saw the ball a little short, and instinct took over.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean by he just hit it. It's kind of in a zone, swivel pull. Metre either side, it's 4. Evans clung on.
A little bit of swing again. We saw that in the first semi-final from Reece Topley.
Good from Topley. Decent pace as well, above 85 miles per hour. The one thing that Surrey have got to keep telling themselves is that Nottinghamshire side of little wobbles chasing medium-sized targets.
Yes.
Even with all of that batting depth. Continue to take wickets, continue to attack, and anything is possible. Peter Trigo, who's in the side in place of the injured Chris Natch. Whether he'll come in at number 4 or not, my feeling is he'll probably slide down the order. Actually his T20 debut for Nottinghamshire, having been released by Somerset last year. Samit Patel just topping up the energy levels.
Beautiful delivery. I thought he's going to be handy here to the left-hander. With the way that he's swinging the ball, albeit from slightly straight to the right-handed Joe Clark, you feel that he's right in business here to Duckett. The slip is in place.
And it's high-quality bowling, that, isn't it? And make the most of it as well. Won't swing for very long. Excellent record for Ben Duckett, T20 cricket.
Again, snakes one past the outside edge. What a start that is from Reece Topley. 2 for 1 after 1.
Well, if you're going to win the Blast Trophy, you're going to have to play well. There's two excellent sides. Cannot stress enough just how well Nottinghamshire bowled at the death.
Right arm over, Clarky.
And they now have their strength, depth in their batting lineup to chase a medium target to win the trophy. Will Jacks, 11 wickets, all in this season's campaign. Bowl a bit of off-spin, spun the ball sharply, in fact, in the semi-final against Gloucestershire.
As he did there with his first ball, which was bowled quite slowly outside the off stump, but spun sharply off the surface.
Clark will now be thinking leg side almost exclusively after seeing that delivery.
When you see a ball spin like that, you immediately think that 127 is not such a bad score, and you can understand why boundaries were so difficult to come by at the end of Surrey's innings.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because the Nottinghamshire spinners, and they bowled Imad Wasim and Samit Patel, Carter, didn't really turn any.
I mean, Imad Wasim and Samit are that type of bowler, aren't they? It would be highly unusual to see either of them really grip the ball off the surface. Swept high. Deep mid-wicket coming in and should get there, and does get there. It's another big wicket for Surrey.
Well, you knew that Clark was going to go leg side. That first ball, the first ball of the over, just changed his mindset completely. 2 sweep shots, 2 top edges. The first one he got away with. The second he's perished. Really good catch from Overton.
He's taken some wickets in the blast, has Will Jacks. He's had an excellent tournament with bat and ball. And Surrey now, in the opening stages of this second innings, have seen the back of 2 very dangerous players. Hales first of all, and now Clark, who's gone for 3. And Nottinghamshire find themselves 4 for 2 in the second over. Changing the order for Nottinghamshire. Samit Patel, who has been down at number 8. It was there for the semi-final. He was there for the quarter-final, albeit playing a crucial hand from that lowly position. Well, he's back up at number 4 now, with an injury to Chris Nash, Trigo in the side, but also with the ball spinning as it has been. They feel that Samit Patel is better utilised nearer the top of the order than the bottom.
Well, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. He's one of the better players of spin going around. And
ball very slowly as Duckett gets across and sweeps this just behind square.
yeah, it's a good shot this from Duckett, because he had to wait. Michael Atherton said it was bowled very slowly, and he just checked his downswing. Made really good contact, no fielder back there, and it was a safe shot. You're going back to Samit, better off getting him in before the rate gets up to 10s and 11s before you send him out there. That's what I say.
Well, 35 years of age, he's still a very good player. He's a very skillful player, especially against spin. He can manoeuvre the ball around. The sight of a ball straightening off the surface won't send him into a funk, that's for sure. Evidence of the spin and the slowness of the pace from Will Jacks. 8 for 2 from 2.
Excellent stuff from Will Jacks. Goes up immediately for a bit of a debrief with his captain Gareth Batty. How much is it turning? What do you reckon? Would it be right for you to have another one, or should we save you for another time?
Looked like Gareth Batty put it in his court then, didn't he? Do you want another?
4.5, sorry, not 4.5, but 4.5 overs of power play, just as a reminder, in this 16-over-a-side game.
Well, Reece Topley is getting another after that excellent opening over when he took a vital wicket, conceded just a couple. Had well-documented back problems, horrendous back problems, really. So it's terrific to see a bowler of his quality back on the field and performing again. You can probably see in his delivery stride, actually, as he slightly leans away. That's a kind of historic consequence of some of the back issues that he's had.
Generating good pace. Consistently in the mid-80s. Have a look, see if we can spot Michael Atherton's talking about. Yeah, perhaps just taking a bit of load off that lower back by swaying outwards, but it's a pretty good action, pretty repeatable. Well, field change to Ben Duckett. There was a slip in the opening over. I reckon he should still be there.
He's only bowled until that delivery 2 balls at Duckett, and he beat the outside edge on both occasions. Only going to have probably 2 more balls and then he'll be out of the attack. I think the risk was worthwhile to keep a slip in. Gareth Batty sees it differently. Much wider on the crease than Reece Topley, trying to spear that in and give Duckett no room to work with, but Duckett gave himself room. Hit a lovely drive through extra cover.
Yeah, great footwork. Very good indeed. I think Duckett calculated that Topley would be on a good length again, so he just turned it into a half volley for himself and laced it through the covers.
Slower ball. Duckett wanted the single but was wisely sent back by Samit. We've had 3 overs. Knots are 13 for 2.
March good from Topley. 1 for 7 from 2 overs. Just the sort of start that Surrey were after. Slightly below par score. We've got a visit from the physio. That last ball might have just reared up. Slower ball from Topley might have just reared up off the surface and caught Ben Duckett on the thumb. Yeah.
Left-hander. What's the left-hander's viewpoint of Ben Duckett? Do you think he's got it in him to come again at international level in all forms of the game?
I think he's very talented indeed. And again, it's kind of I'm not entirely sure where he would fit in terms of test match cricket. Where he's an opener, he'd be looking for a spot around 4 or 5 probably, and I think England have got that sewn up at the moment. But again, in the one-day game, England is so very strong, it's very difficult to break your way in there. I think most of these talented youngsters might have to wait for another cycle before they get a go in the white ball side.
Samit goes down the ground and it's going to be taken at long on. Oh, it's put down. A very simple chance has been put down by Rory Burns at long on.
Unbelievable. 99 times out of 100 Rory Burns has swallowed this. Will Jacks did get the next over and very nearly removed Samit Patel, Nottinghamshire's trump card against spin. Barely laid a hand on it. It's an absolute shocker. It really is.
And just to rub a little salt into the wound, Samit Patel steps back and cuts the next ball for 4. And it was such an error by Rory Burns, who's a good fielder, he's got a good pair of hands. He didn't seem to be under any amount of pressure, really. He didn't have that far to go. He made ground easily enough and somehow just let it slip through his hands and it hit him in the chest.
Yeah, and as is so often the way, the next ball goes for 4. Just didn't get his hands out in front of himself enough. Have another go.
Might get another chance here. Burns, and this time he makes amends, coming round to his right, and he hurls the ball in, half in disgust, half in celebration. It is another big wicket though, and Samit Patel goes.
Well, we've just seen some extraordinary cricket in the last 3 deliveries. Shocking drop from Rory Burns, and then boneheadedness from Samit Patel. It's the only way I can describe it. Didn't have the length to get it over Rory Burns the first time, and gives him another go. This time he gets the hands away from the body. This time he pouches it. And this time, Nottinghamshire at 19 for 3. Samit's gone.
Trigo might not have expected to play this evening. He gets his chance because of an injury to Chris Nash, who hurt his knee and tumbling for a diving catch. This is his debut, I think, for the Outlaws in T20 cricket, and he comes in at a vital time. 19 for 3, Nottinghamshire. Samit Patel was put down by Rory Burns at long on, and then 2 balls later thought, well, I'll give him another go. A bit of catching practice, and Burns on the second occasion made no mistake. And Duckett this time gets back. I think that's the way to play Will Jacks. He's bowling so slowly. I think it's hard actually to try and hit him down the ground or for a right-hander to the long side. You can afford to get back and play it off the surface.
Yeah, good call. Be interesting to see how Notts go about this now. They've said often about how long the batting order is, and that's meant they've just kept coming out, one man after the other, playing shots, playing shots. Will they keep that up in a final? And will the pressure of the prize at the end of it change that approach?
There's a massive boundary on the leg side for the right-handers facing the off-spinner. Both out to Burns at long on, and then as we move around to deep mid-wicket and deep square leg, there's a huge expanse of grass out there, and needs a meaty blow to get it over the fence. We've had 4 overs. They've been eventful, as they usually are. It's 24 for 3. Moores, Christian, Mullaney, Imad Wasim to come before you get to Carter and to Ball, but it's not been a good reply, this, from the Outlaws, with Alex Hales going first ball. Samit Patel has followed, and Joe Clark cheaply as well. So Surrey have picked up 3 valuable wickets in the opening 4 overs. The opening power play, remember, is 4.5 overs, so there are only 5 balls remaining of that passage for the Outlaws to exploit, as Moriarty, who's bowled so well this season, comes into the attack with his left arm orthodox spinners. Trouble at the non-striker's end. Duckett hurries back, makes his ground just.
It's Overton, I think, with the pick up and throw from cover. Umpire Burns has not asked for the umpire Milnes has not asked for the 3rd umpire, and that's why. A panic.
Folkes is appealing because he heard the double sound and wondered whether that was pad first. It was, but it was missing leg stump. That's what Moriarty is looking to do, fire it into a round leg stump to tuck Trigo up. So the response is to swing it away leg side. Great strike for 6.
Strong area for Pete Trigo. And play the hard sweep, the lap slog, or look to go square or over extra cover on the offside.
Yeah, smart cricket, because the first 2 balls it was pretty clear what Moriarty was trying to do. Trigo is it's a strong shot for him, and it's to the short side, so he sized the situation up quickly. No change in the field.
Brilliant, mate, brilliant, Paul. Well done, Mozza. Lovely bowling, Mozza, lovely bowling, Mozza.
Will Jacks's method was to Bowl it as slowly as possible. Moriarty has gone the other way, firing it in.
Power play is done. 4.5 overs, just to remind you, in a 16-over affair. So 1 or 2 fielders immediately move out to the boundary. Umpire signals that the power play is done. Surrey, the happier team. They themselves were 24 for 2 at this corresponding stage. They've taken 3 big wickets. Duckett will push hard, but just hit it a little too hard himself. Got to try and get it about to the inner circle or just beyond for a second. 33 for 3 after 5.
Well, there's been plenty happening. Very first ball of the reply. Hale's instinctive on the pull shot. Picks out Evans and clings on second time. 0 for 1. And Joe Clark, who's been in stunning form, was undone by a good catch from Overton. Some clever bowling from Jacks. And Duckett has found the boundary. Sami Patel sent out at number 4 to have a go at the spin. Was dropped by Rory Burns. And 2 balls later, gave him another go. Trigo bashed it into the empty hollies. And all in all, we got 33 for 3.
Yeah, and I think Will Jacks is going to carry on it. And why not? He often just bowls an over and then he's withdrawn from the attack. But you've got to keep flexible as a captain in this form of the game. No point just having a predetermined plan of attack. And things have been going well for him. He's 2 for 19. The ball is obviously spinning. He's got a reasonable sized boundary to play with when the right-hander is on strike, and Gareth Batty figures he can get away with another.
Those numbers there, 5.9 degrees for Jacks against 2.3 for all of the other spinners on view. I think that's entirely because of how slowly he's bowled it in comparison to the rest.
Yeah, mate, one. Brilliant, Jacko. Love that, Jacko. Oh, back. Lovely work here, Jacksy.
It's been a strange season. I was going to say long season, but it's not been long in terms of days in comparison to the normal. It seems like there's been an incredible amount of cricket packed into a very short period of time.
Top edge, Amla just over his head. He was on his heels, tracking backwards. He couldn't get there quickly enough. Jacks, I think, thought he was in business again, but it wasn't to be.
Hashim Amla had anticipated. He was starting to backtrack outside of the circle and knew the shot was coming. He just didn't have the athleticism to find himself in the right position to pouch it.
To all of his 37 years, didn't he, in that moment? Hashim Amla then, as the ball was arcing towards him.
The brain was sharp, but the body wasn't willing.
Oh, move, legs, move.
Here we go, but come on, lads.
And Will Jacks at 21 couldn't quite believe it. He'll get there one day, Will. He'll be 37 one day.
Looks like he's got 3 or 4 jumpers on there as well, Hash.
It's going to spin and take it slightly away from Rory Burns, so Trigo will come back for 2.
85 from 61. rate just above 8s. Nothing in the modern game, but it's a final.
Smeared away with great strength by Trigo, and a frustrating and angry end to the over for Will Jacks, who feels that he ought to have picked up another in that over. It's 47 for 3 after 6.
So after 6 overs, Notts Outlaws, although they've lost 3 wickets, will feel happy with the wicket column, or with the runs even. Going to Liam Plunkett, who bowled brilliantly in the semi-final. 3 wickets at the back end of the game. Yeah, this was his bowl. Just so intelligent, bowling the ball at times into the surface for pace, and also it's very good with the plans. Yeah, the slower ball as well. And his teammates helped him to the cause. How do you see it at the moment, Nighty?
Thinking Ben Duckett here. Ben Duckett, class player, has had a really good tournament, coming back to somewhere near his best form. If I was Peter Moores or I was in that dugout, I'd be thinking, Ben Duckett, you've got to get us home here. You're going to have the support of Peter Trigo, who's going to play aggressively. You've got Dan Christian. You've got players that can play around you and support you, but can you be there at the end? Can you show your class? And can you get the trophy back in the cabinet at Trent Bridge? He's got the ability.
Well, Peter Moores looks calm at the moment. They do bat deep, as you say. Ahmad Azim is coming in at number 9 on the scorecard. Just a loose one.
I think that's about as calm as you see Peter Moores. He lives the game, he dreams the game, he loves the game, absolutely. Everything about the game. He'll be out there with the players in his mind, that is for sure.
You don't really get your Jose Mourinho types in cricket, do you? Generally tend to be calm. Alex Stewart was unmoved earlier, sat in the dugout with Surrey. Just looking to tuck it round the corner. Got away with that. What have you been like? Calm at this moment? It's final, big game.
I would have tried to exude calmness, as if I'm in control of it and as if I am, but deep down you'd be paddling away, because it means so much. They've worked so hard, they've put so much into it. And let's be brutally honest, I'm not sure any of us thought we were going to get this much cricket during the season, so it's a real bonus.
Well, Duckett's looking good. So far, though, a quiet over, just the 3 singles. So they need a big breakthrough just to break up this partnership, which is built nicely. 32 runs, just 20 deliveries.
Well, that's where Peter Trigo can come in here and just help Ben Duckett. His natural style, we know he's an aggressive player, he hit boundaries, and that'll just take a little bit of pressure off Duckett. He's going well himself, but if Peter Trigo can play his part, that will help Ben Duckett.
And no ball in a final. It's not often you see Plunkett overstepping the mark. And signalled a free hit. Just having a look. Just something has to be behind the line, and then the foot slid.
Well, it must be so nice for Ben Duckett. Thanks for taking that one, by the way, because I've got a free hit this ball.
Fielders moving back to the edge of the ring. Yeah, didn't make the most of that one. But it looks like another no ball has been signalled. This is a shocking moment at the moment. Plunkett normally calm under pressure. Now 2 back-to-back.
the one.
Actually, this time it's for height. Yeah, Duckett, I guess, they're not the tallest. It was both feet off the air.
Yeah, the problem now is, does he try and repeat? That was clearly the plan, but the ball before. Or does he go Yorker? Does he go slower ball?
Oh, right in the slot. And Duckett just leans into that one. The score now moving nicely.
Yeah, he went slower ball, but it's just a bit too much width. If it'd been a little straighter, he might have got away with it. But it meant the left-hander could just throw his hands at the ball. Stayed leg side of the ball there, just enough width.
He didn't completely get hold of it, did he? Just saw that skewed a little bit in the hands. And equally now, it's starting to kick on.
That's why I say calm and calm and measured. The required rate is just over 7. 7 wickets left.
Your end. Lovely pads, come on, pads. Belina, pads in.
Yeah, just 67 needed from 55 balls. It's finished very well with the ball. That last 4 or 5 overs was really effective. I feel for Surrey to get into that position. They need a couple of wickets just to slow things down. Yeah, Liam Plunkett just indicating that he's slipping here. Tim Batty just helping him out, putting a bit of dust on that front foot. Incredible with the amount of rain we've watched over the last few days. He's looking to continue to be aggressive, and that one ends the over. 61 for 3. So the story so far, Surrey short when it comes to runs, 127 for 7 off their 16 overs. Although Notts have lost 3 wickets, you feel that they, with a very deep batting order, have plenty of time. Just 67 runs more needed off 54 balls.
But it's where they are, Ebbs, in the last couple of games. If you look at them in the group stages, they were totally dominant, and it was the top 4 really that got them in that position. You're thinking of Alex Hales, a bit less so than, say, Joe Clark, Ben Duckett, Chris Nash. But in the quarterfinal and semi-final, it was more about the team effort. It's more about using 5, 6 and 7 and 8 contributions right the way through. They're going to need that now. At least those players have been at the crease. At least they've had a little bit more cricket than they got regularly through the group stages. But there's the man. It is all really, for me, about him. Can he see his side close to victory? There's plenty of support from Dan Christian and the like. He needs to be there.
The first bowl of the day for Jamie Overton. With some good pace. He didn't get a run out in that first semi-final. Well, that is a real chance for Trigo to lay into that one. Bit of width, and he carves it away. pace coming onto the bat, nearly 90 miles an hour. You have to move his feet a huge amount just through the bat at it. Well, Trigo's ticking along well, 19 off 13, continually looking to be aggressive. That slipped out. Yeah, the ball must be a little bit difficult to keep hold of in these conditions. Just going to have a look at the height, but looks like it might have just potentially dipped. And they're going to give it a wide down the leg side in the end. Just a quick apology if you heard any profanity in your ears.
Here we go.
Yeah, one thing that's been different between these two teams, Watson bowl a single wide or no ball. So far already 11 extras in total. And that is going to race away. Things now starting to move away from Surrey, and for Notts, the game is just starting to open up nicely.
Looks a little uncomfortable to me, Jamie Overton. He's firing it down leg side, but just his body language, he doesn't look comfortable. Teammates, of course, they were at Somerset, they know each other really well. And at the moment, Peter Trigo is winning the battle. Fielding hasn't been great from Surrey. It was brilliant, it really was terrific in the semi-final. They got out the blocks very quickly, having been sat around watching the rain. Not been quite so good in the final. Bit of pressure now on Overton.
Yeah, already 12 runs from it. Yeah, tensions creeping up in the dugout. Body language just indicating how that captain must be feeling at the moment. And again, that is hit with some power. Trigo is cashing in. End of the over, 77 for 3.
Yeah, he's not himself, Jamie Overton. Doesn't look comfortable at all. He's not bowled anything like in that first over. That may just be his only over. Just a bit too much width, almost over-adjusting. Firing it down the leg side a couple of times. And Peter Trigo's enjoying it. Playing a really good hand, bearing in mind he's hadn't played much at all. Coming here for Chris Nash, 27 from 16. And as I say again, it means that Ben Duckett there on the left can just, well, you can look at the scoreboard and think required rate now is just over 6 runs per over. In a final, he can just knock it around for a little while.
Dan Moriarty, who's been really impressive in the competition, just 21 years of age. He's been brilliant with his spin, but this is going to be a real test. Can he find a way to not only sneak a quiet over, but potentially a wicket too? Just looking again, the deep boundary, 3 fielders out on the leg side to Duckett.
Come on, lads.
Well, job done for Ben Duckett. It means that Peter Trigo's on strike. That's exactly what the team need. And I'd be surprised if he's not looking to be ultra aggressive here.
Well, that is not what he needed to bowl. Too much width. And again, Trigo looking to be aggressive. And now has passed 4,000 runs in his T20 career.
Playing his first game for Notts. What a hand this is, 31 from 17. Been around a long time, Peter Trigo.
Everybody, come on, lads. Here we go, boys. Come on, boys. Let's go in, mate. Come on, buddy.
39 years of age.
Go!
Now attempting to show a bit of touch. He has got two fielders in that region, but let's just have a look at some of his top scores. 94 not out against Glamorgan, Hampshire 84 not out, and also you'd think his strike rate in these games, he likes to get on with it.
I'm going to say what that doesn't show is perhaps his greatest skill. Scores quickly, really quickly.
Hands burner,
What he's trying to do there is use the pace. He's already got one through that gap, and he's thinking probably, well, it's not so easy to use my feet because the ball's coming down quickly. I'll try and use the pace and open the face.
Well, moved across the crease and ended up dead in front. Umpire says he's got to go, and Moriarty wanted to bring the magic. He's got the big wicket. End of the over, 82 for 4.
Well, they desperately needed that. It was really good bowling from Moriarty. Just adjusted his line, not his pace. It was quick. It was too quick in the end. And it snuck underneath the bat. That's probably fair enough. It was crashing into middle and leg. Question really, was he outside the line? I don't think so. Excellent bowling. Boy, do they need that, Surrey. They're not out of it yet, but that's a really good innings. 31 from 21, 82 for 4.
Well, it's the captain, Dan Christian, striding the crease, who's had an excellent day. We saw him with the bat earlier, hitting 4 4s back to back, 4 6s even back to back, and showing his power and capability. He's been brilliant with the ball. And he'll be looking to use his experience. The equation is relatively straightforward, 46 and 42. Will be the opposing captain with the ball.
Oh, yes, guys, yes, guys.
Just have a look at the wicket.
Love that, guys. I love it, guys.
Well, has he got the angle? Has he got the pace? Brilliant bit of fielding. Jamie Overton had to put in the slide there. He was racing away.
Love it here, lads. Love it, lads.
Yeah, really nice hands out in front. Took it early, generated pace. Good work from Overton. On paper, you'd say this was comfortable every day of the week. Comfortable fielding in the end. Just in a final, you've seen stranger things happen. Emotions can get in the way.
Just about holding your nerve. Easy up here in commentary box, back at home, saying just keep calm, be measured, knock it around. You've got a captain in who can whack sixes. Just what, just over 6.5 runs and over. But when you're out there and you see one and your eyes light up, that's just too short. Helped on its way. That's a gift, really. The pressure may have been building a little bit. He hasn't had that much of the strike and he hasn't scored a boundary for a while, but that really is a gift, just dragged down.
Yeah, freebie, and he had a chance and so much time to really decide to hit it anywhere. It was was able to take it in front. End of the over, 90 for 4.
Well, they've got some problems here, Surrey. They need to break this partnership. I know Christian's only just come in, but Duckett is a real problem for them. They do have plenty of batting to come, Moores and Mullaney. And as I say, that required rate is just over 6 runs per over in the modern game. That is not a problem. So all the problems here with Gareth Batty. Where does he go to next? Well, for me, he's probably got to go to his best bowler. Who does he think his most likely wicket taker is right now before the game drifts away? That's fair enough. Moriarty with a wicket in the last over. He can vary his pace a little bit. Also, Dan Christian likes hitting the ball to the leg side here, to the Holly stand, but that'll be slightly against the spin.
Come here, lads. Here we go, lads. There, lads. Lads. One. Ball, Mozza.
Low full toss, but easily just knocked away. You can just see in Duckett's demeanour, it's calm, collected, not looking to overhit anything unless it's offered up. Also has plenty of experience at the other end. Christian. Well, that was offered up, and he hit that like a rocket. Low full toss, and it was dispatched.
Again, it was another gift. That's where he's trying to hit it. That's where he hit his 6s earlier in the semi-final. Trying to line up the left armour with the angle, but this time game is drifting away from Surrey. They need something pretty special now.
You just feel not enough control for a number of the bowlers. We saw Plunkett having a difficult over. No ball. The 2 no balls.
One back in.
Yeah, Overton struggling. One over for 16. Yeah, this is the boundary that Dan Christian really cashed into. Almost took Kev in the sound tent. Ow, Kevin Bannister. That was a nice little limbo there.
Go.
Great bit of fielding. Gareth Batty, doesn't matter. He's pushing 42. He moved really well on this one. He is the oldest man to ever play on finals day. Moving like a 21-year-old. And end of the over, 98 for 4.
So just a run a ball, 30 needed for the Outlaws to win this year's T20 comp. They need wickets and they need them quick to Surrey. Keeps reversing, which is an odd shot to the bigger boundary with fielders on that side.
And you'd think that Christian actually is the one who can take the risk. Duckett just has to stay there and just tick along. Christian take all the risks, even if he doesn't want to do it this over. He can get back on that short boundary of smacking it 2 in the semi-final.
Yeah, Dan Christian was in a hurry to end the semi. Will he be in a hurry to end the final? There is a calm way of getting a runner ball 29, and there's the Dan Christian way. We shall see. Standing way outside leg. to open up that offside, which he does, but finds the sweeper.
Really loop that one up a bit, Batty. That is running the risk. It's the right thing to do. Trying to tempt him into the long boundary. 100 up for Notts. Surrey needs something special.
Yeah, that's the better shot. Because if he nails that, he's going to get 4 for it. In the end, Reece Topley does well. But I think that's got more percentages for Duckett. The hard sweep, or any sweep leg side. Played well, square of the wicket, Duckett. Short lad, picks up length well.
Every time Batty's having to dry that ball. That's a nightmare for spinners.
Oh, yes,
That's nicely looped up. I think that's the only reason he went to Overton for that over, whether he felt the spin couldn't hold the ball. In the end, Overton struggled to hold it, bowled one above waist height. But that over of Plunkett with the no ball, free hit, then another no ball, and the Overton over really cost him. Down the pitch, just pushed on the leg side. Good over so far from Batty, but they need wickets.
Well, they just need to hope that Notts do what they did in the quarter-final. They were cruising against Leicestershire. And then they made it hard work, and they only just got there.
Dragged down. And a good bit of fielding, so good over, just the 5 from it. 103 for 4. .25 needed off 24 deliveries. No super over tonight. If it's a tie, it will be done on the number of wickets, and then it's a count back from 6 overs, 5 overs. A little bit like the quarter-final that Notts won. Looks like it's going to be Reece Topley. 4 overs to go. 25 needed.
4 overs of a summer that has just been extraordinary.
Summer and autumn. Nearly winter, I'd add. It's freezing out there. Great effort from the players. It has been extraordinary. Are we going to get an extraordinary finish here? It will need something special from that man, Topley. That's why the skipper's gone to him now. Get us a couple of wickets. So a ball.
And Christian just trotted down the other end there. I reckon he fancies a bit of Topley to this short boundary.
Well, what Jake Ball did in a slightly different angle, because Jake Ball is obviously right arm, so he's wider on the crease. Topley slightly closer to the crease, but he hit the ball outside off stump. Harder on the angle to go leg side, but that's what Dan Christian will be thinking. In fact, he changes Topley, goes round the wicket, and Christian's thinking short boundary.
He can almost just try and get across just a little bit and open up that angle with the ball coming back in.
Wide on that tram line. That's brilliant batting. Coaches call it a release shot. He'd have had the short boundary in mind, but his release shot was to go over the offside. Excellent.
And that's the problem with the field set, though. The protection's on the leg side, but third man and backward point have come up. And he just about reaches it. Any sort of bat, unless he hits it straight at that man at backward point, that's a boundary.
Well, it's a classic. Do you set the field to where you think they're going to hit it, or do you set the field for where you think your bowler's going to bowl it? And your bowler's bowling it wide outside off stump, so you need a man down at a sort of wide third man, which is what they're doing now.
This is a better field. You almost don't want to be too clever with it. Christian's been around for so long. He's so good at this situation. And try and bluff him. Set the field and try and execute that plan.
What an evening he's had, Dan Christian. Runs, wickets. Can he finish it off for his side? Goes across. It shouldn't be a wide because he went so far across, isn't?
Yeah, back in the hand, slow ball. Good decision as well from the umpire.
might be a wide. It is. It's gone for 4. That's the man they brought up on the leg side. Can't cover both sides. Excellent over again for Christian and Knotts. 121 for 4.
So clinical. It's been so clinical in both games.
We've got crowds all of a sudden.
You've got me the Bumble.
There is only one Bumble. Bumble's not with us. There are no crowds, but look at those two. Sweet Caroline. Bumble, we miss you. 73-year-old is resting at home, looking after himself. Crowds, we miss you. Come back next year. It's been a long year, and it's not been the same. Look at those idiots in the middle.
Where Freddie tripped over the speaker in front of the Holly stand.
You can't go 1 year without mentioning Freddie, can you? 121 for 4. And that's gone away for 4 as well. It is all Knotts. 49 for Duckett. 21 for Christian. They are 1 hit away, and they are on their way down to celebrate, and celebrate long into the night. Leg side, he says 2. It goes for 4. And that will do nicely. 50 for Duckett. He won't worry about that. It's the Knotts Outlaws, 2020 champions in 2020. They have absolutely thrashed Lancashire in the semi, and now they have thrashed Surrey. Brilliant performance.
Yeah, well played, Ben Duckett. Well played, Dan Christian. Well captain, Dan Christian. It has been worth the journey for him. He's had an excellent summer. He's had an excellent finish to the summer. It has been a long and extraordinary time that we've had. We've had some brilliant games, but that has been so clinical from the Knotts Outlaws.
Sure has, Rob, and a bit of redemption there as well. A year ago, they choked in a semi-final against Worcestershire. They needed 12 off 11 with 8 wickets in hand, and somehow they lost the game. They were winning. They did not leave it to chance. They did not choke this year. They have bossed both games. And when you've seen today, you ask who's been the best side. It's been Knotts. Who's been the best player on show? It's been Dan Christian. They deserve to win this one. Ben Duckett got to 50. He will not care. Nick Knight said earlier, be there at the end. He was. They will party long into the night. When I say long into the night, they got to go at 10 o'clock.
They got 13 minutes.
Hey, you're doing the presentation. Keep the presentation short, Key. Oh, even at the end, COVID gets to us. What a summer it's been. Well done to everyone concerned putting this summer on. We didn't think we were going to get a lot of cricket. Well done to the Test boys, the one-day boys, the overseas teams, the boys and girls, the England women, and now the county cricketers. You have put on a show, and we thank you immensely for giving us some kind of cricket this summer.
Yeah, not even the weather could beat us. They have played in tough conditions. I reckon it doesn't get any tougher as far as the rain, how damp the ball got, but it didn't beat them. Every single one of the teams in the semi-finals and the final has given us live sport. You cannot beat live sport. The day when you turn up and you don't know the result, the drama, who's going to be the heroes? Well, there's two, Christian and Duckett.
Yeah, we thought 127 was under par from Surrey. They went 29 deliveries from Ball and Christian without a boundary. That's the best part of 5 overs at the end of a 16-over match without a boundary. The only thing that could stop Notts was the pressure of a run chase in a final. But when you have a long batting lineup and you have Ben Duckett at the top and that cool, calm captain that's Dan Christian, there was no pressure this year. They strolled over.
You got a feel for the bowlers. They got them off to a decent start, 4 for 2. Seeing the back of Alex Hale's early top league is a great story. He's turned up this year with a bit of an extra pace. He was 3 overs, 1 for 25, but as it went on, as the ball got wetter, it just got tougher and tougher. Jamie Overton, that 1 over him and Plunkett bowled each, showed how tough it was.
So there is our match summary in the Blast Final 2020. Surrey 127 for 7, having been inserted. Runs for Roy and Evans, wickets for Christian and Ball. The Outlaws in reply, 129 for 4, half-century for Duckett. Christian was there at the end, 2 wickets for Jacks. The Notts Outlaws win by 5 wickets, 6 wickets in the end.
Well, they dominated the North Group. They won the semi-final convincingly, and they've won the final convincingly as well. Ben Duckett, well, he had to be there at the end, and he was there at the end. So congratulations to the Notts Outlaws. Dan Christian, fitting that he was there at the end as well. He's had a magnificent finals day with ball and with bat. So they win again. They last won in 2017. Michael and Mark alongside. Pretty impressive again, wasn't it?
They've been an impressive team in the Blast all year. Of course, they dominated the North Group. It's a strange game, isn't it? Because we did the quarter-final a few nights ago at Trent Bridge, where but for a couple of misfields from that young Leicestershire Foxes side, they might not have been here. Maybe that was a good thing in a way, a kind of tight game that they needed just to remind themselves that they needed to be on top of their game to win here. They've won both games comfortably tonight. Dan Christian, very impressive, pummeling Lancashire for 30, those 4 consecutive sixes that just cut that game dead, and then 4 wickets here tonight against Surrey as well.
Did we just see, Butch, a little bit more maturity from Ben Duckett? I know I was giving him a bit of stick on commentary saying you've got to be there at the end, but he looked very calm. It looked as if he knew exactly what he was doing out there.
He played quite beautifully, didn't he? And really relished the chance to go out there and open the innings. I think, you know, there is no better place to bat in T20 cricket than right at the top. You can kind of set your own pace. There isn't so much pressure as when there is when you come in the middle order. He's got every shot in the book. You know, Surrey perhaps played a little bit to his strengths. He wasn't asked to hit the ball down the ground very much. He was very, very strong square of the wicket. Anytime he got any sort of width whatsoever, he flayed it. And it was a top knock. And you're absolutely right. I love to see that from batsmen, whether they're old or young. You get yourself in, you're in charge of a run chase. You make sure you're the guy who picks up the stump at the end. You know, and that's high quality. It's all very well. Even you get your team right the way to the brink of winning, then slog it up in the air and walk off on your own. But no, I'm going to be the man to pick up a stump, shake the opposition by the hand, and walk off with a W next to the name, and well, a trophy next to the name. And very, very apt as well that a team from the north has won. Considering how cold it is. I mean, us Southerners will never play in these sort of conditions. Have you seen it out here?
Apt as well that Peter Trigo, I mean, he's been out, he's making his debut, first appearance, of course, for the Outlaws. I mean, to go in and play like that.
Yeah, just came in at a tricky time. Spin was on top. And then there was those 2 overs, weren't there? One from Plunkett where he overstepped the line, one from Overton, and that just started to swing things back towards Notts' favour. But as you say, you come in, wouldn't have expected to play maybe. Chris Nash gets injured. All of a sudden he's got a common cold with little cricket behind him, and he played really well. He's obviously a very powerful player still, despite, you know, advancing years and been around for a while, but he seemed to relish the opportunity to show people that he's still got it, and it was great to see him come out and play so well.
I don't think he was very happy at the way things ended at Somerset. He felt that he still had plenty to give. He was desperate to try and find a county. Nottinghamshire came in for him, and yeah, he played quite brilliantly tonight.
It's all a very different atmosphere out here, isn't it? I mean, we've been at the end of finals day. There's
Normally people rolling
going
around in the aisles.
It's all very quiet and subdued, but actually it shouldn't take away from the performance, really.
And both sets of players have done, all the players have done fabulously. I mean, it became, you know, it looked very wet out there towards the end, but the reason it's been delayed so long in the season was a desperate attempt to try and get some crowds in at the end of this impossible summer, really, and then second wave changed all that, but nobody's complained, everybody's got on with it. I mean, it's not cricketing weather, it's very wet, it's very cold. The players have put on a show, and well done to them for that.
How much credit, but should we give to the bowlers as well? I know we're talking about the batting because it was a run chase, but when you look at, I think it was the last 29 balls of their innings, Surrey, they didn't get a boundary. So you're looking at what, Jake Ball, perhaps Dan Christian?
Yeah, I mean, listen, things are wetter now, perhaps, than they were at the halfway point. However, the conditions were still bad. I mean, you know, even when we started for the first semi-final, it was damp, fielders were skidding around all over the place, the ball was getting wet. So for the way that those two bowled at the back end there, Surrey could have reasonably expected to have made 140, which may not have been enough anyway, but they could have reasonably expected, given the start that they had in the partnership between Evans and Roy, to have got to 140. And these two came in and just shut the whole thing down. And again, I reiterate the fact that the conditions were not good then either, you know, and they had to have control of the ball. They had to be able to manipulate the short side and do all of the things to keep Surrey from being able to find the boundary, and they did it brilliantly. And that's what won them the game. The batting, yes, great, well played Ben Duckett, well played Dan Christian, well played Peter Trigo, but it's the bowling that won Nottinghamshire the trophy.
Very similar to the first semi-final. I think Lancashire didn't hit a boundary for 17 balls at the end of their innings, and I think it was 29 balls at the end of Surrey's innings that they didn't hit a boundary. So they didn't just do it once, they did it twice. Excellent death bowling.
I mean, as they wander down now, presentation won't be far away, but the other point we should make looking at their team is they have 2 overseas players. Now, they're the only side in the competition that have 2 overseas players, and there are 9 overseas players in total and 2 for Notts. It's going to make a difference, isn't it?
Well, it does make a difference.
Yeah.
It has made a difference. Obviously, in the circumstances, lots of counties have decided not to go for overseas players this year and have given a lot of their own young players a chance. I don't want to reiterate the criticism I made of Notts earlier, but you know, they are a big club, and I would hope that they will have an eye on trying to produce more players from their own county boundaries in future.
Well, they have won. Congratulations to them. We can hear from Ben Duckett now.
Ben, first of all, big congratulations. How's the emotions?
Thank you. Yeah, it's really good, obviously, to get over the line. I think it was a bit weird though with no fans in. It would have been great to have a full house today. But yeah, I think coming short in the semi-final and personally being there at the end last year when we lost, it's a good feeling for me to get the boys over the line there.
A half century, and you seem to be calm throughout your innings. What was your approach?
Trying to stay calm. You know, we were never behind the rate, which was handy. We obviously lost early wickets, which was tough, but the wicket was pretty good. And you know, when Pete Triggs came in for his first game there in the final and played like the way he did, it took all the pressure off me. And same with Dan at the end there. So for me, it was to try and play strong shots and stick to my game with my sweeps. And you know, luckily I hit the gaps a few times at the end there, and we actually got over quite convincingly.
You guys seem to have been tested a few times. Leicester match went to the wire again today, but what's been the key to your team's success this summer?
I think, to be honest, it's just different people stepping up at different points. Obviously, we bat right down to 8, 9, and our bowlers are superb. We've got some international bowlers in there. We got the the experience of Dan as our captain. Yeah, it's not been one person throughout the whole season. Someone's put their hand up each game, and we all get on well as a team, and it's all been pretty good.
You talk about your captain there, loads of sixes at the back end of the last game, bowled beautifully. What do you think about his performance?
Yeah, I mean, on the big stage, you want your captain to lead from the front, and he did exactly that today. So, I couldn't be happier for him.
What about the conditions? It seems pretty cold out here, or is it as cold as it feels?
It's all right when you run around a little bit. Obviously, the outfield's a bit wet, but to be honest, everyone was just, so keen to play some cricket today. So just happy to get out there.
And finally, for the fans, obviously they weren't able to be here and making noise in the Holly stand, but you must want to say a word to them.
Yeah, finals day is not finals day without the fans. I think every year everyone wants to play on this day, and it's because there's 25,000 people here, and it's the closest you'll get to an international game. So such a shame today, but hopefully they'll be back next year.
Yeah, and you've made the Notts fans at home very happy. Well done today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, very well done. There are 5 people here and 3 around here.
He's a good player, and he shouldn't be forgotten down the line if he continues to put performances in. And we were just talking about the tour that he went on with England to Bangladesh and India, where he had a real struggle in Bangladesh starting against spin. But I was there for that tour. The pitches were as close to minefields from ball one as you could possibly imagine in international cricket. It was about a tougher start to your international career as you could possibly get. I think he's a fine player of spin, and when England go to the subcontinent, he'd be on their radar.
And that's very complimentary, bearing in mind he had his problems. So what you're saying, basically, he's learned very quickly, he's developed his game very quickly.
Well, I'm saying most people had their problems on that tour. If you remember, England got beaten in Dhaka for the first time by Bangladesh in a test match. The pitches were spinning yards right from the outset. It was a very, very tough time to make your debut, for sure.
You sort of reiterated your point as well in the interview there, that they were very much a team. I know you get that from players at the end of a competition like this, but almost making the point of the semi-final, rather the quarter-final there, where perhaps they dominated the group stages and had a lot of confidence in the top of the order, but maybe that quarter-final there against Leicester just gave them a little bit of a shake.
Well, it gave them an almighty scare, because in all honesty, but for that perhaps misfield by Aaron Lilly, they wouldn't have been at finals day. So Leicester should push them hard. It probably gave them a bit of a shake. It gave one or two of the others an opportunity down the order. And they dominated here today, for sure.
OK, well, let's hear from the two captains. Find out who the man of the match is. Presentation is ready.
Welcome to the presentation ceremony for Vitality Blast Finals Day 2020. Congratulations to the champions, the Notts Outlaws. Firstly, we'd like to thank today's match officials and scorers who have already received Vitality medals. Umpires Mike Burns, David Milnes, Alex Wharf and Martin Saggers. Match referee Stuart Cummings, and scorers Mel Smith and Russ Dickinson. And a massive thank you to the ground staff here at Edgbaston, Gary and the team, for making cricket happen at all today. Now, the first presentation is the Vitality Blast Player of the Year. The winner receives a cheque for £2,500 and a trophy as part of the NatWest Cricket Awards. This award is based on points in the PCA's MVP ranking system. The Vitality Blast Player of the Year is Surrey's Will Jacks.
Well, I suppose that's no consolation really for what was a pretty tough game out there, but how happy are you with your own form this year?
Yeah, of course. I'm very happy with how I played this summer. It's a shame we couldn't get the job done today, but we've had a great competition.
Go through your own, I mean, you've been bowling in the power play as well. Is that something you were expecting at the start of the year?
Not really, but it happened one game, and I think we had an 11-over game against Hampshire, and I opened the bowling, got a wicket, and I've done it every game since then. It's quite a challenge, but it's something I've really enjoyed.
What about your batting as well?
Yeah, it's been good. A bit stop-start. Started a bit slow, finished a bit slow. Good in the middle. We've got some great batsmen. I've really enjoyed batting with Hashim Amla, Jason Roy, and learned a lot of those guys. Yeah, it's been really good.
All right, best of luck. Winter well.
Cheers, mate.
Now it's time for a word with the captain of Surrey, Gareth Batty.
Gareth, pretty tough out there with the ball. How do you assess that game?
Look, we were probably a few short with the bat, and Notts played very, very well. They came out, put us under pressure, and with a long batting lineup like they have, we needed to take wickets throughout, and they got a good partnership there. Duckett played very, very well and made it very difficult for us.
How do you try and force wickets when you've got a pretty wet ball, spinners can't grip it? Where do you go?
Well, we tried a bit of pace, which didn't quite work, so we went back to spin, which we tried a few things that didn't quite work. It's just one of those things. I think we have to take our hats off to Notts and say very well played, and back to the drawing board for us.
Stopped a pretty impressive unbeaten run. You must be pretty proud of how your side have played this year in the Blast.
Yeah, I think from where we started out to how we've ended up, pretty good. It doesn't make it any easier stood here now having lost. It's pretty gutting, to be honest, but look, again, I'll say it again, Notts were brilliant and they deserve the win.
As a fellow spinner, how impressed are you with Moriarty?
Yeah, he's going very, very well. He's had a very nice season, as has Jacko in this competition. And Verds has done very nicely in red ball. So spin is thriving at the Oval, that is for sure.
I lose track of things, but I'm pretty sure you're older than me. How are you going yourself?
Whoa, that's hard. Kick a man when he's down. Yeah, I'm in the twilight, that is for sure.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for everything this year. It's been good to watch.
Cheers, pal.
The Vitality Player of the Match has been nominated by the Sky Sports commentary team and receives the Vitality Player of the Match award for bowling figures of 3 overs, 4 for 23, and an unbeaten knock of 21 from 11 balls. The Vitality Player of the Match is the winning captain, the captain of the champions, the Notts Outlaws, Dan Christian.
And I'm sure as you stand there, you've won this trophy. All the isolation, all the long flight, having to get over here, all must seem worth it.
Yeah, definitely makes it worth it. That's yeah, it was a tough start to the tournament for me. Yeah, the whole isolation, and then yeah, just the way it's all panned out. It's been a really, really weird year, and then the delays with my flights and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's nice to get a reward like that.
Deal with this game. What did you make of conditions? How hard was it for both teams?
We knew the new ball was going to grip a bit, and it did for both teams. It did quite a lot for both teams. So we tried to minimise damage as much as we could with the bat and try and get as many wickets as we could with the ball. And then yeah, I think we finished off really well with the ball in the end. It ended up being a really good wicket once the ball got a bit soft. So massive wicket getting Jay Roy and Laurie there. That was sort of the turning point, I think, to restrict them to what we thought was probably 20 short.
That little spell you had with the ball as well, we know you for the big hitting. You must be pretty pleased with how your bowling's gone as well.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how it came out today. I've generally been pretty ordinary over here in England, particularly bowling at Trent Bridge. So, yeah, nice to get a couple of wickets. But no, everyone was fantastic tonight. Our spinners were great. Again, they've been great all season. Jake Ball's been great all season. And going in with a bit of a different makeup this year too. No Harry Gurney, just playing the one quick, and then myself as sort of the second seamer, and then all pace off was a bit different. So no, the boys handled it really, really well.
As a captain as well, when you see a young player like Ben Duckett bat through, soak up that pressure, how impressive was that? Yeah, awesome for Ben to do that. He's been really, really good all year, as has Joe Clark. And he missed out in the. He missed out today in the final, but yeah, he's been awesome. He's a huge reason as to why we're here, and yeah, great to see those young blokes along with Tom Moores as well. They all had really good seasons, so yeah, they're certainly a massive reason why we're here. And your batting as well. I mean, it looked like certainly in the semi-final, you've always had a power game, but how much did you enjoy going out there in those situations and just finishing it off? Yeah, it was. It's the beauty of having a long batting lineup too. Having guys like, I think we had Imad coming in at 9, I think, today, and it's sort of been the way all year. It gives freedom to the top order, and particularly with a short side like we had tonight, you could go in and feel like you could take the short side down. If you got away with it, great. If you didn't, then there's plenty of blokes to come in and hopefully do the job. So yeah, having that kind of freedom's been really nice for us. Just quickly then, one final one. You're flying back, I think, tomorrow, whenever it is. What have you got to go through before you get back home? I've got 2 weeks hotel quarantine, and then a couple of weeks at home, and then I've got to go to Sydney and have 2 weeks hotel quarantine there before the start of the Big Bash. So yeah, 4 weeks in hotels, just not allowed out of my room, but that's the way it goes, I guess. Well, at least you got a trophy to show for it. Exactly. It's all been worth it in the end. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
The Vitality Blast champions 2020. The Notts Outlaws.
Well, worthy winners. It's the second time they've won the trophy. The last time was back in 2017, and that man in the middle there, Dan Christian, lifted the trophy then. So it is the second time he has captained the Outlaws to the Blast trophy. What a team they are. What a team they've been throughout the competition. As Michael was saying, they stuttered and stumbled a little bit in that quarter-final against Leicestershire, but in the end they were too strong today in their semi-final. And for Surrey, who've played so well themselves throughout the competition, but it is Dan Christian and the Notts Outlaws who have won. How crucial, Butch, has Dan Christian been to the side as a captain?
I mean, just everything that he's done over the course of today has been quite superb. He's made all of the right calls at the right time. His personal performances. I mean, I've watched Dan Christian play Big Bash cricket over in the IPL and over here in England, and every time I've seen him bowl, he's just got pogoed everywhere. But not today. He had an absolute blinder bowling at the death. And as I've said, he managed to manipulate things so that he always had the right option with the short boundary on one side. He mentioned himself there. I mean, we've forgotten about Harry Gurney. I mean, how crucial has Harry Gurney been to Nottinghamshire's T20 cricket over the years? He was ruled out very, very early on, so they just changed things up. They went to majority slow bowlers, pace off, just Jake Ball with the the genuine sort of frontline seamer. Ball responded brilliantly and bowled incredibly well. How well has Joe Clark played, by the way, with the bat missed out in the final tonight, and just seemed to garner some real. It's very difficult to keep people like Samit Patel and Imad Wasim happy batting down at 8 or 9, but he's managed to do it. These guys have all come in, been happy to play whatever role they've been asked, and they are absolutely worthy champions.
I have some sympathy for the players, actually. There's not, in a career, you don't win that many trophies, or most people don't, and you'd like to remember the moments with your supporters and a full house, and those are the memories that you take at the end of a career, really. So I'm sure it's not taken anything away from the joy they're feeling now, but you just kind of slightly feel from the fact that they've not got a full house here to celebrate in front of.